In this training video, we're going to be talking about editing the blog page. Here we are in the editor on the home page of the layout we created for our blog. Let's come over here and take a look at the layout by clicking on the page icon, coming over here to the right pointing arrow, and we can see we're on the home page, and this layout only has 2 pages in it. It has the blog and the news page. So let's go down to the blog, close out of this, and let's talk a little bit about editing your blog page. The blog page is the page where the most recent selection of all of your blog posts are located. So when a visitor comes to your website and lands on your blog page, they're going to see this list right here with your most recent blog post on the top. And of course, we want to make our blog pages just as beautiful and consistent with our brand of our other pages. And Builderall makes this so easy with the Pixel Perfect Builder, because we can build whatever we want and put things where we want, and that's where they're going to stay. So we're going to go over some of the features here so you can learn how you can alter these pages to reflect your style, your voice, and your website. Just like our Pixel Perfect Builder, this blog builder, these blog pages can be edited just as easily, just as quickly. Remember, one of those tricks that we learned in the Pixel Perfect Builder training, this can be very useful here as well. Let's grab a box. Let's grab a purple box. And this will help us determine where on the page we are, what we're working on, remember? And see how useful this technique is, because on this page here, on this layout, we're on a white background, and we wouldn't be able to see this sign up to receive first-hand content very easily unless we had a way to highlight that banner and make it possible for us to see that line of text. So this is where your boxes really can help. With my purple box here, I can find my header very quickly. I see we have a banner here. In this banner, I have some text and an opt-in form. So we have a banner here. We have an element below the banner right here, which is a news list. That's the list of the most recent blog posts we've made. So bring your box over here, and we can now find these individual elements. You can see as I move to the top of this group of elements, it highlights that whole box for me. That makes it easy for me to find my box, and then I can easily begin to move it. Don't forget to use these boxes to help you find your invisible boxes and banners to make it really easy when you're customizing your new blog pages. So I'm going to let my purple box hang out over here. Let's begin to customize this page a little bit more to go with our fruit shop website. We'll come up here to the header, and I'm going to right click on the header. I'm going to go to Appearance, come to my header, make sure I'm in the edge-to-edge style. Remember, even though we're building this blog to go with our fruit shop website, our blog is in a separate layout. So we can change the header to a different header so people will have a slightly different experience of the fruit shop branding, and they'll still know they're on the blog. So I thought I'd try to do that and show you a little bit of a different header effect that could be an option. Of course, you're free to design anything you want. You could even eliminate this header and bring it up to a very small amount and not have the header appear publicly at all. But I'll show you an idea here. Since we're in a different layout, we can make this header a little bit larger perhaps. Right click, go to Appearance, We're going to come to our header, into the settings. We'll make sure we're on the edge to edge. And this time, let's put an image up here in the header. So I'm going to click on the images. There's no image there now, but we'll upload an image. I'll find my Fruit Shop directory in my digital files repositories and search in there. And let's find an image that will work. How about this image? We can confirm it. And now we have this image in our header. And we can, of course, adjust it any way we like. Let's just shorten it to about there for right now. We can play around with that as we design the look of our blog layout. So let's go ahead and add our logo. So I'll come down and add an image. Right-click, go to Change Image, go to the Fruit Shop directory in my Files repository, and find our Fruit Shop logo and confirm. So here's my image, and I can move it back up into the header. That looks like a really good place for it. Let's put our rulers on, insert a guideline there for our left-hand margin, and we can locate that image right on that edge. So now we have our logo in the header. Let's go ahead and add some text. So we'll come to the Add Elements, add a text box. Let's make this a large, extra large. Go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. We're going to triple click to select all the text. And let's call our blog the Fruit Shop Blog Bits. Of course, you can name your blog whatever you want. It's in black right now, so I know I'm going to have to change the color of this text to white. And I do that on the color picker. Okay. And I think I'll make it bold as well. So I changed my title to the Fruit Shop Blog Bites. Just thinking on the fly here, folks. Keeping in mind that that keeps the Fruit Shop a keyword for the Fruit Shop blog. That keeps keywords in an H1 headline on each page. So that takes care of one of my SEO requirements. So now we have a header, and if we're going to save it, and save again. And if we come over here to our news page, we can see we have the same header now on our news page. And that gives our website a cohesive look. It's the same image that we see on our landing page. It gives it a slightly altered color scheme, so they know they're in a different part of the website. It still has the same brand appeal as the Fruit Shop website. Let's use our purple box here to come down to the next section, this next banner. You can see the banner is highlighted in blue as I activate that banner with my blue box. But you'll notice we can't see the text on the white background. So let's alter the color of this banner. We're going to right-click, go to Appearance, and we're going to add a style. We'll call it the Fruit Shop Blog Banner. Confirm it, activate it, come to Settings, and we want this banner to go edge to edge. So we'll choose that. You see it puts in the default color. So we're going to come down here to this color option. And let's choose a new color. You think something in a lighter gray might work well. Let's try that. We can explore whatever color, shades of the color that we want. I'm looking for something with a little bit more greenish tones in it. And you find the color you want, but I'm going to save this color. Right there it is. Click OK. That at least gives us a place to start. And we can see our text. Let's move down the page a bit and we'll see we have the next banner. If we right-click on that, we discover that this is not a banner. This is the body of the page now. So let's bring our box down. We may need it. And let's talk about this box here. You can see it right here. It's our element that holds the top posts for this page. And if we right-click on that element, we see it's called a news list element. If we click on Configure, we have a lot of options. We can show the date. That's right here. And you can choose the format of your date, how you want it to appear in this drop-down menu. You just choose however you want that date format to appear. I'm going to leave it the same. You can show the time of your post. It depends on how often you post, whether or not you want to include the time, I'm sure. So you make that decision whether it's important to have the specific time. I'm going to uncheck that. Show author. If you have more than one author on your site, you would want to definitely show your author. I'm going to uncheck this. This is a business site, and I'm not sure who the author is going to be. Show categories. Categories are the way you can classify and categorize the types of blog posts, the content that you're posting, and that way your users and visitors can quickly search through those categories and find content they're looking for and is relevant to a specific topic. Here we have, for the text button, it says read more, and the alignment is to the left. That means the button is to the left. If I choose to the right and confirm it, it moves the button to the right. And I think I like it better on the right. That's just a personal preference. And here, this slider, this is how many news listings you want to list on your page. The minimum is 3, and you can list as many as all of them. But I think that would be a little bit much. I think I'll set this to 6 and confirm it. So that configures your news list. So I'll confirm it. Now we're going to right click. We're going to select the theme. And here's where you can choose how you want your news feed to appear. If you scroll through here, you can see how the different ways to set up your page. Here you have like 3 columns, and then there would be another row of 3 columns. This is 1 per row. I think I'll set it to just a standard one after the other for right now. On the texts, here is where you can customize your text. I'll leave it as is right now, but you have the standard text editing features where you can justify it, bold it, italicize it, change the color, the font, the size of your font, the space from the top, and that's for your title. Moving down to the date, you have the same choices here. If you're including the author, you customize the author here. And the content, how you want the content to appear. And then here's where you customize the button. This is the button text. Maybe we'll make it a little larger. Yes, I think that looks better. And you can, of course, adjust where that falls on the button by using this slider button here to customize the space of the text from the top of the button. And then for your pagination items, down here you see are your pagination items. This is what tells you what page you're on, and your user can navigate from page to page. So you can control the size of those items, the space from the top. And once you customize all of the text, then you can come to the actions. Here on the actions, now we can customize the button. You can change the size of the button. You can make it reach all the way across. I think I like that. We can make it taller if we want. We can change the background color. Let's change it to that same shade of gray, and we'll change the hover color to the same. And of course you have the option to put borders around your buttons like that. But we're going to leave this plain, so we're going to choose hidden. And here's where you'll round the corners on your buttons. I think I am going to do that. I like the way it's rounded there on the images, so I think I'm going to mimic that. We'll try 20 and see how well that does. So I'm going to put 20 in each of these fields. Maybe 20 was way too much, so I changed it to 5, and that's very similar to that. It just softens the corners a little bit. If we want to, we could enable a shadow on that button. Sometimes I like shadows. I don't know. I think I'll not have the shadow right now. We can decide later and change it if we decide we want it. And here is where we would customize that shadow if we were going to enable it. Let me click that again so I can show you. You can change where it falls on the page, top, bottom, left, right. You can control how much it is blurred, and you can control the size of the shadow. So you have some options there, but we'll leave it without a shadow for right now. Down here, we're going to be talking about the categories now. So again, you have a slider that can change how it's spaced, how large they are, both in height and width, and the color. So let's change this back to the same color that we're using on all of these. And again, we have a choice for adding a border, rounding the corners, enabling a shadow, and changing the color. So you have a lot of options there, and here's your pagination. We've been through it, and that's what we have it set at. So we're going to set these to, let's change this to a lighter gray. Not have the borders, and we'll round the corners up to 5. We don't want a shadow. So now we've customized all of these settings. That's the way our buttons are going to look, and we can save and save again. Now let's right-click on our news element, our news list here, and as we move down this card, we can see another option, the image size. So let's click on that. This is where you're going to adjust the size of your images on desktop, tablet, and mobile. I can make the image much longer, all the way up to 400, back it down, make it a very narrow profile type image on the width and the height. Let's make these nice size pictures. Of course, I can do the same on your tablet and mobile views. When we're customizing for tablet and mobile, we would adjust those sizes here on this card. I'm going to set my desktop view to 400 pics by 250 pics. Click confirm. And now that's the way my blog news list will look. So I'm going to save it and save again. Now, of course, as you're optimizing for tablet or mobile, you're going to come back in and adjust the settings for those perspectives, those views and devices as well. That's how you change the size of your images on your pages. You always have the center element option, which means we're going to center that element inside any container, like an invisible box or a banner. But let's come down here to the tag attributes. Click on that, and it's giving you an alert saying that this tag system should be used only by experienced users. The tag will undergo a treatment to remove invalid characters. So before you start using tags, you're going to want to make sure you go through the training on how to use tags and follow the rules. We're not going to go into tags in this basic introductory training on the Pixel Perfect Blog Builder, but this is where you would add your attributes for your tags and then save them. So I at least wanted you to know where that function is. Click out of that, save our work, save again. Don't forget, you can customize the fonts for this entire layout. I won't do all of that customization in this training. Just like in the training for the Pixel Perfect Fruit Shop website, we can come right up here to this large T, click on that, and we can customize each of these fonts for H1, H2, H3, H4, all the way down to our body text sizes, just by clicking on the style, and then we can customize it for desktop and mobile using these cards here. And since the blog is in its own layout, you can choose to put different fonts in this layout or keep them the same just to keep that continuity across the entire website. Just remember, it's always good to customize your font styles on your layout. If we can limit the number of fonts used to build the pages on your website and choose these styles as we build our pages, then our pages load faster and the user has a much better experience. So I wanted to mention that you do have the option to customize entirely different font styles, or you could keep them the same. In that case, if we were going to match the fruit shop website, I'd come in here and use the same text styles like the Engelbert right here and make that my H1 headline. So don't forget about that as we're working on this new layout. Now let's take our purple box here, activate that invisible box holding all of these elements. I want to make sure I activate that box and scroll down a bit so I can know exactly where that box is. Right now the box has a white background, so you can see we're missing some content, probably some white text. So I'm going to right click, double check to make sure I have the box selected, go to Appearance, come over here to Colors, change the white background color to a different color just so I can see where the box is lying. We'll switch it back in a little bit. So now I know where my box is, and I can take a look at these elements and decide which ones I'm going to keep. At the top, we have this element, which is a news search. You can right click on that, and you can configure it and change the text style color, the font, and the size. And here where it says placeholder, that's where you can type in whatever you want this search bar to read when your visitor sees it. I'm going to leave all of that the same though. That's a great feature for our users as we build more blog posts over time. If somebody comes to our blog and is looking for a specific piece of content, this is a great way for them to find it. Down here in this box is a text element. Down here, if we right click, we can see this is a button, a call to action, and we have this box, which is actually an image with a transparent background. If we select the little box in it, we see it's an image with a transparent background. So you can see we could easily change this image, these two images out, and make it more appropriate to our fruit shop website. So what you might consider doing if you wanted to use this idea and concept is we would want to replace the text with something pertaining to the fruit shop. Instead of reading, "Would you like to start making sales today with your own smart site?" we could click into the text box and change it to whatever we want. So all I've done is change the text in that text box, and I can shift it around however I need to. I have another button here, but I'm going to move it down for a moment. If you notice here, we have two images. I don't know if you can tell that. We have this pink triangle that's an image. I'll pull it into the box inside our box, because you can see we have a box inside our larger box. Pull this image in, and just to give you an idea how much freedom you have in the Pixel Perfect, I'm going to right click, change the image. I'm here in the Pixel Perfect, and I'm going to upload a picture of some smoothies. It's on a transparent background. Click it after it's uploaded and confirm it. Now I have this image, but it's tilted, so I'm going to bring it back to square by clicking that X, pull it right up underneath our text. Maybe I'll move it just a little bit this way. And I can, who knows, I could probably even still use this little text box. Now I have this button that I can put right below our image. I'll right click on that. I'm going to go to the button right now and change the text. And instead of saying start your 7-day free trial, let's just put in free recipes. Confirm it. That text is awfully small, so I'll right click. I'm going to come to the appearance. It'll bring me over here to my edit the element. I'm going to add a style and call it my free recipes button. Confirm it. Select it. go to the settings, and I'm just going to change the size of the font. I think I'll make them bold. So now my button says free recipes underneath the image. And that's how easy it is to customize this box here specifically for your business. Come down here to this element. We see it's called a categories filter, and that's not a bad thing to have on a website. I think that's a pretty good idea. Our little Builderall logo here, while we don't want to use the Builderall octopus on our fruit shop website, the image is already well sized, so I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to change image, and I'm going to choose this image of a strawberry I previously uploaded that's on a transparent background. I'm going to choose it, confirm it, and it puts my little strawberry there. So that little change goes a long way towards really customizing your site. So we have our categories label. I'll pull it up right under our free recipes. I'll bring our categories up, and remember we can also use these arrows. Now moving down here, let's right click on this and see what this is. This is a news element. I think I'm going to eliminate this one. Coming down here to this box that holds our label and the image, I'm going to activate my arrow on this invisible box, and I'm going to pull up. And that way I bring everything else with it. I can get right up next to the element directly above this element. But I do want to leave a little space. So I'm going to activate the arrow again and bring it down just a bit. For recent posts, let's go ahead and change this image. I'll change image. Select our strawberry and confirm. And I'll want to make sure that those elements are all lined up. So I'm going to put a grid in there, a grid marker, and I need to move my label for my categories down a bit. Bring it down and bring it back up, and then I can make sure this one's locked into that grid. So our recent posts will appear here. This element here is, we'll right click, and we'll find that this is your Facebook page. We'll go ahead and leave this on the page, but on the card here we're going to come into edit, and here's where you put your Facebook URL to your business page, and you can choose whether on tabs whether you want to see timelines, events, messages, whether or not you're showing your friends' faces, the width and height, all of that. But this is how it will appear on the page with your page there. I'm going to confirm it. And it looks like it needs to be brought up just a bit. I think I'll shorten the box above it a little bit. Now I can activate the arrow on my Facebook page element and bring it right up. So we've customized this sidebar. Now let's remove the purple background. Let me take my guideline out and click the rulers off. So I'm going to right click on this box and go back to appearance, and now I'm going to come over here to colors, and I'm going to remove this and change that back to white, and now we can see what that sidebar looks like. And I think it has a nice cohesive look with the page. Let's hide our purple box for the moment. So we're going to right click, come over here to the invisible eye. It'll send it right up to the hidden elements. And let's take a look at our page. It's looking cohesive and looking pretty good so far. So we'll come down here and we have our footer. I'm going to pull the footer up to the page right now. I'm going to activate my ruler. I'm going to put my grid line again on the left-hand side. And now I'm going to take a look at these two invisible boxes. I need to make sure they're positioned well on the page. So now that I've got my ruler on, I can place my elements. Come here and grab this box, invisible box, with these elements. Go down here and make sure my footer is brought back up. I can change the color on the footer if I like. So I'll change the color on the footer by right-clicking, go to Appearance, come to the footer, come to the gears, to the color, and I think I'll just select white. And I'm going to keep my footer really small at the moment. I might put a menu in there where they can return to the home page of the fruit shop website and a social bar. So all I did was quickly come in here, put a menu with the home page and a social bar in the footer, just to show you you can really adapt this page to whatever your website needs to look like. I'd probably come back in here and make some text larger, but I'm not going to take up the time now to show you some of those basic things that I know you know how to do. So I'm going to right-click on my grid line. I'm going to take my rulers off, and I'm going to take a look at my page here in preview mode. And that's our news page. So let's go back and return to edit, because we must remember to save. Save is our friend, and save again. We covered a lot of material in this video. It may be material you've heard before, but maybe this is your first attempt at building any blog or website of any kind. And we've taken the time to learn how we can customize and easily edit even a blank page to blend with another site, get just exactly the look we're trying to achieve in the pixel perfect blog builder. It's so easy, and I look forward to seeing you in the next training video, because we're going to take a look at editing and customizing our news page.